Hi, I'm Nadia and I love astrology. Welcome to my channel. This video will be all about Taurus. In my opinion, one of the most underrated signs. Why do I say that? Well, once you complete the video, you will come to your own conclusions, of course. But for one, Taurus is the sign where the moon is exalted. Now, moon is one of the most, if not the most important planets for us humans here on Earth, especially when it comes to our emotions, psychology, and well-being. You can think of the sun and moon as the king and queen in the sky, watching over us. And while the sun is connected to our soul's purpose and our divine intelligence, it's the moon that enables us to survive and thrive here on Earth. This tells us that Taurus provides the best framework for how we can fulfill our needs, survive, and thrive as human beings in 3D reality. In addition to this, no planet is debilitated in Taurus. As we explore the many layers of the sign, you will begin to see how powerful and essential Taurus truly is. It's a pretty straightforward sign as it's strongly connected to the practical and material sides of life. So the symbolism is pretty simple to understand, but its simplicity doesn't take away from its significance. Like all videos in the series on the signs, this one will be thorough. We will be analyzing Taurus from multiple angles, covering its characteristics, psychology, and deeper symbolism. My analysis is based on descriptions from a number of different sources. One is the book Brihad Parashara Hora Shastra. The other book is Jaimini Sutras. Both of these are some of the most authoritative sources on Vedic astrology that exist to this day. And another source are the profound teachings of my mentor, Ernst Wilhelm. You will notice throughout this video that there will be some repetitions of themes and topics, and this is because astrology is not a linear study. Everything is interconnected and the symbols and interpretations intertwine and support each other. The zodiac wheel is a circle, after all. A small disclaimer, this is not a video where I will simply list all the different traits of Taurus as a zodiac sign. I'm sure there are a lot of videos out there that do that, but my purpose was a little bit different. I wanted to show you the reasoning and the logic behind these interpretations and conclusions about the sign, so that you will better grasp the full beauty and complexity of the multi-layer meanings behind each astrological sign. That is to say, this will be a long video. So do what a Taurus would do, grab yourself a tasty snack, get cozy and comfortable, and let's dive in. First, let's look at how the sign is depicted. The widely known symbol for Taurus is of course the bull. However, for the purposes of this video, I will include other similar bovine creatures in this interpretation. So in order to fully understand the energy of the sign, we will look at the behaviors and characteristics of cows, bulls, but also buffaloes, bisons, and mountain-dwelling yaks. Observing these animals in their natural habitat reveals key Taurian traits: an innate preference for peace, a deep need for stable nourishment, and a quiet but unshakable strength. Let's go through each of those in more depth. Peace and serenity. Picture this idyllic scene: expansive green pastures under open skies with these large animals moving slowly and deliberately, completely at ease. A herd of cows or buffalo in a sunlit pasture embodies tranquility. They do not hunt and they do not fight unless threatened. They are grazing steadily, moving as a unit, and forming bonds that prioritize harmony over competition. Conflicts are rare, and when danger arises, the group collectively protects its members. The nurturing instincts with these herds run deep. Mother cows demonstrate extraordinary devotion to their calves. Having followed numerous animal sanctuary accounts, I am continually moved by observing the genuine friendships that cows exhibit, how they graze together, maintain close, gentle contact with each other. They're often seen grooming one another or resting side by side. The profound grief that mother cows experience when being separated from their calves reveals an emotional depth that humans often underestimate in these animals. This mirrors Taurus's loyalty and emphasis on secure, nurturing bonds, whether in family, romance, or friendship. This brings us to why the moon is exalted in Taurus. Just as calves instinctively seek the protection, safety, and nourishment of the herd, the moon represents our inner child's need for secure emotional connection and consistent care. Number 2, strength without aggression. We can also observe the quiet strength of these animals. Now, a bull's power and strength is undeniable. However, it is rarely used needlessly. Bovines do not dominate for sport. Their strength is reserved for defense or asserting boundaries. Unlike predators who dominate through force, bovines live cooperatively. Similarly, Taurus energy is steadfast but not combative. They are firm when they're challenged, yet they prefer calm persistence over force. There is a lesson in their patience. They move at their own pace, unbothered by external pressure. The third major association we can make here is abundance. Given the choice, bovine animals always seek out lush, fertile pastures where resources are plentiful. Observe them grazing and you'll notice something remarkable. They never appear anxious about their next meal. There's no frantic competition for food, no hoarding behavior. They move with an innate confidence in nature's provision, taking only what they need while leaving the land able to regenerate. This directly connects to Taurus's association with material stability and resourcefulness. The sign embodies the energy of building sustainable foundations, creating enough resources to comfortably support oneself and one's herd. Those closest to them, basically, without excess or exploitation. It's no coincidence that stock markets worldwide adopt the bull as their symbol, representing steady, reliable growth rather than reckless speculation. Historically, the connection between bovine animals and material security runs even deeper. Across virtually all agricultural societies, cattle represented survival itself. For a poor farming family, even 1 or 2 cows could mean the difference between hunger and sustenance, providing not just dairy products, but surplus to sell and manure to fertilize crops. The cow was quite literally a lifeline. This reference appears across cultures. In India, cows have been sacred for millennia, embodiments of divine nourishment. Native American tribes viewed the buffalo as a sacred gift, providing food, clothing, and tools, while maintaining spiritual harmony with nature. In ancient Vedic times, a person's wealth was measured in cattle. More cows meant more food, more productive land, and greater security. Ultimately, the bovine symbolizes what Taurus represents at its best: the interconnectedness of life, abundance, and harmony with nature's rhythms. These animals teach us about finding security through patience, building stability through cooperation, and recognizing that true wealth comes not from hoarding, but from wise stewardship and resources. Now, the shadow side of the herd is that they can become stubborn, resisting change even when change is necessary. Overgrazing, though rare in the wild, happens when movement is restricted, bringing attention to Taurus's potential to grow stagnant if security becomes rigidity. The animal's calm can also turn to slow-burning fury when provoked, much like the bull that charges only after prolonged agitation. Now let's move on to the Jaimini symbolism for Taurus. In the Jaimini systems, zodiac signs are numbered rather than named, making Taurus simply the second sign. Significantly, Jaimini describes this sign specifically as a quadruped. Unlike our modern association with bulls or cows, this ancient classification points more broadly to four-legged domesticated animals, creatures that have served as humanity's fundamental resources since the dawn of civilization. We touched on this point in the previous chapter already, but let's explore it even further, connecting the symbolism of quadrupeds with the connotations of the second house. The profound connection between humans and domesticated animals reveals itself in our earliest developmental stages. Children's first words often name animals, and language learners often add the names for animals very early on to their vocabulary. This instinctual recognition speaks to a deeper truth. Domesticated quadrupeds have been the cornerstone of human survival. Beyond companionship, they've provided number one, sustenance, such as dairy and meat, materials such as wool and leather, and labor for agricultural or transportation purposes. In this way, Jaimini's classification of the second sign establishes Taurus as the archetype of material resourcefulness, the practical systems that make earthly existence not just possible, but sustainable and comfortable. Throughout history, the four-legged animals have served as more than companions. They were living safety nets for agricultural societies. While today's world relies heavily on technology and global networks, it wasn't long ago that our survival hung by a more delicate thread. In earlier times, one bad season, whether from droughts or floods or other natural disasters, could mean the difference between abundance and starvation. During these critical periods, domesticated animals became lifelines, providing sustainable nutrition when crops failed, ensuring entire communities survived. This relationship with valuable resources explains why astrology's second house governs wealth, assets, family bonds, and close relationships. These aren't random acquisitions, but carefully cultivated resources that, when nurtured consistently, secure our material existence. Such security isn't automatic. Everything of value, whether relationships, real-life skills, or physical assets, requires the investment of time, energy, and attention. Yet, when properly developed, these resources yield meaningful returns, enhancing our lives on a practical level. Everything represented by the second house can only sustain us if we are responsible for it and we put the right time and energy into it. Both the second house and Taurus, the zodiac second sign, carry strong survival themes and directly connect to our sense of self-worth. The more capable we are of building strong foundations and demonstrating resourcefulness, the more value we naturally start placing on ourselves. This isn't about accumulating luxuries or indulging in frivolous spending. Rather, it represents the wisdom to secure what's necessary for long-term survival, providing for ourselves and for those that depend on us. Next thing we're going to analyze is the environment or the habitat. Analyzing the environment, or as it's referred to in the books as residence for each sign, gives us additional layers of interpretation. For Taurus, I'll first look at the habitat of bovine animals in the biological context, meaning what they gravitate toward when left undomesticated, and then I'll refer to how it's described in the ancient Vedic texts. Taurus energy thrives in surroundings that are stable, abundant, and fertile. These are places where resources are plentiful, ensuring comfort, survival, nourishment, and pleasure with minimal struggle. A well-balanced Taurus approach to life involves securing the right resources and knowing how to sustain them long-term, building a strong foundation for a stable and harmonious existence. Taurus seeks harmony with nature, and sustainability is a major theme here. In the wild, bovine animals instinctively maintain the balance within their ecosystems. They graze in varied areas, allowing vegetation to regenerate. Their presence fertilizes the soil, contributing to the land's ongoing fertility. Their reproductive cycle is naturally regulated, typically producing one offspring per year, preventing overpopulation. The sick or weak among them become sustenance for predators, ensuring the ecosystem remains in equilibrium. This effortless mutual collaboration is exactly how Venus, Taurus's ruling planet, operates, creating relationships that sustain themselves over time, where all parties benefit. Taurus energy, by its very nature, leads us to environments where resources are stable and dependable. Those with strong Taurus placements are drawn to comfort, routine, and predictability. Just as a grazing field offers a steady food supply without the need for exploration, Taurus prefers familiar surroundings that provide a sense of security. They instinctively seek out places where their needs are met and where they can remain in a steady rhythm, surrounded by those that they trust. Uncertainty and adventure? Not so much. Taurus avoids disruption whenever possible. Now, for an additional layer of meaning, we turn to sage Parashara's description of Taurus, where Taurus is associated with village living. To understand this within the context of ancient India, we need to look at the role of the cow in Hindu society. Cows are sacred, regarded as symbols of abundance and sustenance. In a traditional village, a cow is well cared for. It is fed, watered, and protected from harm. In return, it provides milk, ghee, and other dairy products that sustain the community. This reflects Venusian energy beautifully, a harmonious, reciprocated relationship where both sides benefit. The cow is valued and respected, reinforcing Taurus's theme of self-worth and resourcefulness. A village setting is also deeply community-oriented, contrasting with the individualism of Aries. Taurus energy flourishes in environments that emphasize connection, mutual care, and stability. Villages are also hubs of trade and exchange, which is another Venusian theme. Taurus isn't just about survival, but about forming lasting, beneficial relationships, creating a support system where resources are shared. Unlike Aries, which operates independently, Taurus thrives in interconnectedness. Those with strong Taurus placements naturally gravitate towards places where they are valued and cared for, and in return they offer something meaningful, whether that's a skill, a resource, or simply their steady, reliable presence. They enjoy the sense of belonging that comes with mutual support and will remain in environments where their needs are being met and their contributions are appreciated. This is one reason Taurus is associated with loyalty. When relationships are stable, reliable, and beneficial, there is no reason to seek change. And when someone consistently provides value, others wouldn't want to lose them. On the other hand, indications of afflicted Taurus energy will point to a person feeling unappreciated, as if their efforts go unnoticed or their contributions aren't valued. Alternatively, they might struggle to find ways to offer something meaningful, leading to feelings of inadequacy. In some cases, an afflicted Taurus may remain in an environment where they are undervalued, hoping to gain the respect and security that they crave, but never quite receiving it. These internal conflicts can create struggles with self-worth, reinforcing a cycle of dissatisfaction and stagnation. Taurus teaches us that when we align with environments that support us and when we offer something valuable in return, we create a sustainable, fulfilling existence. But when that balance is disrupted, Taurus energy reminds us to reassess. Are we truly in a place where we are valued? Are we offering something meaningful in return? Next, we're going to analyze the body parts ruled by Taurus. Each of the 12 zodiac signs rules a part of the human body, and Taurus rules our face, neck, and throat. This connection offers deep insights into the Taurus archetype and highlights the significance of this energy. If we examine the face, we can see that most of our senses are concentrated there. Our eyes provide sight. Our nose allows us to breathe and gives us our sense of smell. Our mouth enables us to eat and taste, which explains the Taurus connection to food. And since Taurus also governs the throat, we can see the deep connection to sustenance here. The ears, which give us the ability to hear, are also connected to Taurus. Meanwhile, the neck plays a crucial role in movement and orientation, allowing us to turn our head and take in the world around us. Together, the face and neck help us perceive what we need and then consume it. The body parts ruled by Taurus are also home to many important glands, which play a crucial role in maintaining balance within the body systems and overall health. The primary role of the senses ruled by Taurus is not to provide enjoyment, but to alert us to potential dangers in the surroundings, ensuring our survival. The mouth is central to our survival. It allows us to eat, drink, and sustain ourselves. This brings us back to the theme of nourishment and sustenance, connecting Taurus to the two planets associated with food, pleasure, and well-being, namely Venus and the Moon. The Moon, which represents our needs and emotional fulfillment, is exalted in Taurus, as we already discussed. The neck serves as the support system for the head. Aries rules the head, as we saw, symbolizing ideas, inspiration, and that initial spark of action. Taurus, which follows Aries in the zodiac, provides the foundation and stability needed to bring these ideas into reality. It orients the head towards practical fulfillment by assessing available resources and making grounded decisions. So as we can see, Taurus is deeply connected to our senses and is one of the most essential signs for meeting our fundamental needs for safety, security, nourishment, and self-worth. Through Taurus, we discern what we need, evaluate its worth, both materially and emotionally, and take steps to fulfill it. But Taurus isn't just about survival. It also teaches us to find pleasure in life's practical experiences. Taurus, closely connected to nearly all of our senses, is what enables us to experience pleasure. Those with strong Taurus energy in their charts are naturally inclined to ensure that both they and their loved ones have a steady supply of physical and emotional resources for well-being. In today's world, Taurus energy often translates to financial security, ensuring access to food, shelter, and comfort, as well as fostering strong family and community bonds. This is why Taurus and Venus are linked to high-quality foods, beautiful and functional surroundings, natural materials, and anything that appeals to the senses in a way that is sustainable, practical, and fulfilling. Healthy Taurus placements provide clarity about our needs and the ability to meet them effectively. With this energy, we instinctively recognize what we require, we seek it out, and integrate it into our lives. Essentially, we consume it in a balanced way. However, afflictions to Taurus can disrupt this process. We may struggle to identify our needs or feel unable to fulfill them. Because Taurus is closely tied to self-worth, challenging placements can lead to feelings of guilt or unworthiness, creating psychological blocks that prevent us from obtaining what we desire. On the other hand, Taurus imbalances can also lead to overindulgence, excessive eating, overspending, or overconsumption in any form. Since Taurus Taurus rules both the mouth and the throat. It has close connections to speech. Strong Taurus placements can contribute to someone having a pleasant voice or being sweet in their speech, or both, which is fitting because, as we know, Venus rules Taurus, and Venus is the planet of diplomacy and negotiations. Folks with strong Taurus energy prefer to be on good terms with most people, and they don't like to ruffle any feathers. Well-placed planets in Taurus can also enhance our natural beauty, often giving an effortless, healthy appearance without too many artificial enhancements. Conversely, afflictions in Taurus can lead to insecurities about our physical appearance, especially concerning our face. Moving on, we're going to analyze the element of Taurus, which is Earth. If you're watching this video, you probably already know that the 12 zodiac signs are divided into 4 different elements: Earth, Fire, Water, and Air, and each element rules over 3 signs. Taurus belongs to the Earth element group, which, as the name implies, is very much connected to the concrete, practical sides of life. Earth is everything that we can see, hear, touch, taste. It grounds us in reality, giving form and structure to the world around us. In the zodiac, fire represents ideation and inspiration, raw energy seeking its expression. But it's at the earth element that these ideas take shape, transforming into something concrete. Earth signs aren't satisfied with abstract notions. They're focused on results, on what can be built, sustained, and utilized. Their role is to ensure that our thoughts, emotions, and desires translate into real-world actions with tangible outcomes. In the zodiac, fire represents inspiration and ideation, raw energy seeking its expression. But it's at Earth that these ideas start taking shape, transforming into something concrete. Earth signs aren't satisfied with abstract concepts. They are focused on results, on what can be built, sustained, and utilized. Their role is to ensure that our thoughts, emotions, and desires translate into real-world actions with tangible outcomes. This progression is clear when we look at Aries and Taurus in sequence. Aries, the first sign, asks the fundamental question, who am I? It's the energy of self-discovery, individuality, and new beginnings. Taurus, in contrast, shifts the focus to what do I need? What do I have? This is the domain of the second house, our personal resources, skills, and material security. This connection to value and worth is at the core of Taurus energy. Once again, we see how Taurus is both straightforward and deeply significant. As humans, we are certainly more than our physical needs and desires. However, these things still play a crucial role in our lives. The vast majority of our life is spent ensuring the fulfillment of practical necessities, building a stable home, supporting our family, acquiring resources, and solving the everyday challenges related to maintaining our security. These concerns align with the Artha houses, the material houses, which are the 2nd, 6th, and 10th, which govern material well-being, effort, and long-term success. Even the most spiritually inclined person still lives in a physical body bound to the material world. No matter how detached one may feel from worldly matters, there is just no escaping the reality of survival, food, shelter, health, and stability. The strength of the earth signs in our chart determines how effectively we navigate these aspects of life. When well balanced, they help us build a solid foundation, allowing us to function with confidence in what we often call the real world. In addition, earth signs are grounded in rationality. Rationality is the ability to derive understanding and reach conclusions through logic. It leads to sound judgment, good sense, and reasonable actions. What's unique about rationality is its ability to uncover simple truths, truths that humans with all our intellectual faculties often overlook. It's this common sense approach to life that often allows earth signs like Taurus to create a working life for themselves without overcomplicating or overthinking things, and helps them avoid getting into trouble. Taurus is a fixed earth sign, and as the name suggests, fixed signs are all about stability, reliability, and endurance, things that last and stand the test of time. When we combine the earth element with the fixed modality, we get an energy deeply rooted in material security and sustainability. This is stability in the most practical sense: a healthy, functioning body, a safe and comfortable home, solid family connections, and enough financial resources to weather any storm that life may throw our way. In short, Taurus energy is about creating a solid foundation that keeps us grounded, secure, and okay, no matter what happens outside in the scary, chaotic world. Since Taurus is naturally aligned with sustainability in the broader sense of the word, it thrives on healthy, long-term exchanges with others. The fixed nature of Taurus represents something stable and enduring, a system that works and continues to work for a long time. However, when afflicted, the same energy can lead to stagnation rather than stability. Instead of sustaining something valuable, we might find ourselves clinging to situations that no longer serve us, like staying in an unfulfilling job that doesn't utilize our strengths, or staying in an unfulfilling relationship that doesn't meet our needs. We can understand the role of Taurus even better by comparing it to the other earth signs that have different modalities, Virgo and Capricorn. At Capricorn, which is a movable or cardinal earth sign, we initiate change in a concrete material sense, often out of necessity, as Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Taurus, the fixed earth sign, is where we find stability in those material structures created at Capricorn. Here we settle into what we've built and we establish long-term security with it. At Virgo, which is a dual or mutable earth sign, we refine and adjust things as needed to improve efficiency and adaptability. When Taurus energy is healthy, it allows us to feel safe and secure with what we've created. But if Taurus energy is afflicted, that sense of stability is lost. The material structures in our lives fail to provide real security. We might struggle to sustain long-term success, or we might become so fixed in our ways that we resist necessary change, even when it would improve our well-being. Now, Taurus is a female, or as it's referred to in Vedic Astrology, gentle sign. In Vedic Astrology, the 12 signs are divided into 6 male, cruel signs, and 6 female, gentle signs. Taurus belongs to the feminine, gentle category, embodying receptivity, patience, and reflection. Feminine signs are introspective and feeling-oriented rather than driven by action. Taurus in particular has an open and receptive quality. It allows us to accept and appreciate the good things life has to offer to us. When Taurus energy is balanced, we feel worthy of abundance, which in turn makes it easier to attract prosperity, stability, and comfort. Feminine energy is predominantly receptive, meaning individuals with strong feminine placements in their chart tend to wait for the right opportunities rather than aggressively chasing them. Their approach to life is less about forceful pursuit and more about alignment and patience. They allow things to come to them rather than constantly pushing forward. And because they have trust in the flow of life, good things naturally gravitate towards them. Taurus energy is calm, steady, and incredibly enduring. It is one of the most hardworking signs, capable of bearing heavy burdens of responsibility for long periods of time without complaint. This patience and resilience often translates to material success and wealth over time. Like the bovine symbolism associated with Taurus, this energy mirrors the nature of the cow, gentle, slow-moving, persevering, and resourceful. This feminine energy gives Taurus a discerning and deliberate nature. Rather than chasing every opportunity, Taurus evaluates what the world presents to them and chooses wisely. It isn't constantly looking for something to conquer, to achieve, or force into existence. Instead, it moves at its own pace, focusing on long-term stability and comfort. Unlike masculine signs, which are goal-driven and intensely focused, Taurus operates with a broader awareness, ensuring that decisions lead to sustained security and pleasure. Its gentle presence naturally invites abundance. It doesn't have to demand it. It's important to note that female signs are receptive, and how they react and what they do is heavily influenced by how they feel. So if you have a lot of planets falling in female signs, you probably deal with most things in life through a feeling-centered approach. When Taurus energy feels good about its self-worth, then this positively impacts how they act and the circumstances they attract. Now we move on to the appearance of Taurus, or how it's described in Vedic astrology books. The Sanskrit term used to describe Taurus has a dual meaning. It can either mean tall or long. Now, in a very literal sense, people with strong Taurus energy could in fact be taller than average. However, the symbolic meaning of the description is much more interesting. Taurus is a sign of endurance, and its success comes not from sudden bursts of energy, but from steady, patient perseverance. Just like the fabled tortoise and hare, Taurus wins the race through consistent effort and long-term dedication. It's not about rushing or chasing fleeting moments of inspiration, but about building something lasting and meaningful over time. This approach to life, work, and relationships is slow, steady, and deeply rooted in sustainability. Like Aries, Taurus is a quadruped sign. Now, four-legged animals are known for their ability to carry heavy loads for extended periods of time. This mirrors Taurus's capacity to handle responsibility, both physically and emotionally. If a long, demanding task requires perseverance, reliability, and a strong work ethic, you can trust a Taurus-dominant individual to see it through to completion. They don't shy away from commitment, whether in their career, personal relationships, or projects, and they take pride in being a source of stability for those they care about. Unlike more restless signs such as Gemini, Libra, or Aries, Taurus doesn't fear stability. It thrives in it. Routine and familiarity are comforting, not constricting. A Taurus-strong individual doesn't crave constant change or unpredictability. Instead, they flourish in environments that nurture, appreciate, and support them. These conditions allow their most valuable traits such as loyalty, trustworthiness, resilience, and devotion to really shine through. Most importantly, Taurus doesn't just enjoy stability, it builds it. They don't take their comforts for granted, but rather work diligently to expand their own resources and those of their family and loved ones. Their approach is sustainable and thoughtful, ensuring that security, prosperity, and well-being continue to grow over time. Taurus teaches us that success isn't about speed or intensity. It's about consistency, patience, and the ability to sustain what really matters to you in the long run. Now let's briefly look at the caste of Taurus, which is a Vaishya. All earth signs, according to Vedic astrology, are of Vaishya caste. Vaishyas are the skillful craftsmen of the Zodiac. They are the ones who pride themselves on offering a specific product or service derived after perfecting a skill through diligence, responsibility, and practice. These are the specialists, the artisans, the actors, the singers, the doctors, the designers, the mechanics. They are the ones who pride themselves on offering a specific product or service after perfecting a skill through practice, diligence, and responsibility. Anyone who has achieved a high level of skill and can be relied upon to be an expert in their field and thus be valuable to others through that capacity. In return, they gain value through the appreciation and exchange of their work, creating a mutually beneficial cycle of expertise and reward. You will often find people with strong Taurus energy in fields requiring expertise and specialization. They are particularly suited to careers relating to comfort, practicality, aesthetics, or sensory pleasure. Think food and beverage sectors, fragrance, art, design, architecture, or massage. Now let's look at Taurus through the lens of Venus, its ruling planet. As we already touched upon, Taurus is a Venus-ruled sign. Venus is the planet of worldly fulfillment. It represents our ability to be enriched, revitalized, and taken care of by the material world. It governs regeneration, ensuring that we can experience pleasure, beauty, and nourishment in a way that keeps us feeling refreshed and alive. One of the most profound sources of fulfillment is love and connection, which is why Venus is so closely tied to relationships. Few things have the power to heal and rejuvenate us as deeply as feeling, receiving, and expressing love. Since Venus rules both Taurus and Libra, afflictions in any of these signs can lead to difficulties with feeling fulfilled by worldly experiences. The difference between these two signs lies in the expression of Venusian energy. Libra, a masculine and air sign, represents the active, social, and outward-focused side of Venus. It initiates relationships, fosters social connections, and seeks harmony through external validation and status-enhancing beauty. Think designer fashion, elegant decor, and luxury cars that symbolize prestige. Taurus, which is a feminine earth sign, embodies the introspective, receptive, and self-sustaining aspect of Venus. Its appreciation of beauty is more personal and sensory-driven, focusing on comfort, quality, and natural elegance. Think organic fabrics, a thriving garden, or a well-tailored dress that looks as good as it feels. Both signs share a love of art, food, pleasure, comfort, luxury, and aesthetics. But while Libra enjoys beauty as a way to elevate status and enhance relationships, Taurus seeks beauty for its own intrinsic value and long-term sustainability. Taurus's feminine, receptive nature allows us to find joy in life's simple pleasures, to appreciate what is already around us, and to derive deep satisfaction from the sensory experiences of daily life. When Taurus energy is strong and healthy, an individual can create comfort, harmony, and beauty in any circumstance, regardless of budget or external conditions. However, an afflicted Taurus may struggle to feel nourished or satisfied, even when surrounded by the finest luxuries, food, or relationships. It can manifest as a constant sense of lack, dissatisfaction, and inability to fully enjoy life's pleasures. The feminine expression of Venus in Taurus also plays a key role in self-worth and attraction. It governs how we increase our own own value, not just in terms of physical beauty and material wealth, but also in character, kindness, manners, and generosity. The more self-aware and confident we are in our own value, the higher quality relationships, both business and romantic, we will attract. After all, life is a continuous give and take, and Venus teaches us that those who truly appreciate their own worth naturally draw reciprocal, fulfilling partnerships to their lives. Aside from Venus, Taurus is also strongly connected to the moon, as we already discussed. Both planets govern how we connect to others. Venus nurtures partnerships of mutual benefit. Healthy Taurus energy ensures fair treatment of others, while using material wisdom to create safety and comfort for our community. The moon governs emotional connections and empathy, meaning that well-developed Taurus energy helps us understand how to meet both our needs and those of other people close to us. This approach isn't about hoarding resources, but using capabilities and assets to ensure collective well-being, similar to how cattle support one another and protect the entire herd. The moon's emphasis on social connectivity reinforces Taurus's grounded nature. Just as the moon orbits the earth, it symbolizes our need for tangible, worldly connections to feel emotionally fulfilled. Those embodying healthy Taurus energy can often serve as practical advisors, always having something meaningful and valuable to offer to other people, whether that be a material resource or worldly wisdom, as Venus is considered the guru, teaching planet. They also can excel in caretaking roles, as Venus rules the nursing profession. Now, for our final layer of interpretation of Taurus, we're going to look at the shadow side of Taurus and the evolutionary goal of Taurus, which is to incorporate some of the healthy aspects of the opposite sign, Scorpio. Taurus energy, with its natural inclination towards stability and comfort, can also lead to certain challenges. While the pursuit of comfort is a key trait of Taurus, it can also become a danger if it leads to prioritizing comfort over ambition and inspiration. Taurus may become so invested in maintaining the stability that they've worked so hard to achieve that they avoid the risks and challenges that come with growth and personal development. This overfocus on security can cause them to miss out on opportunities for deeper fulfillment and expansion. Additionally, Taurus's people-pleasing tendencies and misplaced loyalty can cause them potential issues. Taurus, with its nurturing and generous nature, often feels compelled to give and to support others without fully evaluating whether those people deserve such attention. This can manifest as overgiving, sharing their time, resources, skill, labor, and even physical body too readily. The result is that they can become vulnerable of being taken advantage of, leaving them feeling betrayed or traumatized when others don't reciprocate their generosity and loyalty. Taurus may give openly and with great sincerity, but when that energy isn't returned in a healthy way, it can lead to feelings of depletion and violation. Another common pitfall of Taurus is the tendency to focus too heavily on the practical and material aspects of life, often neglecting the psychological and spiritual dimensions of existence. While securing material stability is an important priority, an overemphasis on the tangible world can leave Taurus disconnected from the deeper, more subtle realms of life that also require attention. This imbalance can cause them to miss the emotional developments and spiritual growth that would otherwise sustain them in the long term. The solution is to start integrating more of Scorpio's traits. Scorpio energy can serve as a powerful counterpoint to the challenges of Taurus. Scorpio is all about emotional and psychological security, offering the ability to set strong boundaries that protect the inner world from harmful influences. This is where the integration of Scorpio comes in, helping Taurus develop emotional defense mechanisms and establishing a deeper sense of psychological resilience. Scorpio's influence teaches Taurus the importance of guarding their emotional energy. It offers the insight to be more selective about who they allow into their inner circle, helping them avoid sharing their lives and resources too freely. When Taurus integrates Scorpio energy, they learn to hold back until they are certain that they can trust someone fully, thus protecting themselves from the feeling of being taken advantage of. This process allows Taurus to develop trust in others, but only after establishing boundaries that ensure their emotional safety. At the core of both Taurus and Scorpio is the theme of trust and security. The difference, however, lies in the approach each sign takes. Taurus tends to focus on the material and practical security, building resources and a stable foundation to feel safe. Scorpio, on the other hand, operates on a profoundly psychological level, delving into the emotional and spiritual realms to understand the deeper forces of trust, vulnerability, and inner strength. The two signs, when integrated, help us build a foundation of psychological strength and resilience, learning to navigate both the emotional and material worlds with wisdom. Taurus's evolutionary goal is to continue strengthening its resources, not only to support and nurture others, but also to allow others to take care of them in times of vulnerability. By cultivating trust in others and being selective about who they let into their inner world, Taurus learns to let go of fears of dependence. True self-worth emerges when Taurus recognizes that no matter what others do, they will always be okay. This awareness allows them to rely on others when needed, while also being able to protect their own boundaries and values. By finding a balance between self-reliance and interdependence, Taurus can evolve into a more psychologically secure and emotionally resilient individual. So there we have it, folks, an in-depth look at Taurus energy through analyzing the symbols, archetypes, and astrological principles. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something new with the material and that you really came to appreciate the strength and significance of Taurus energy. Next on the list is Gemini, of course. Bye!